Hey guys, it's Hilton here. How you doing? I just want to check my lives first, so it won't be long. Make sure that this is streaming into the group. Hope your week's been good and without any issues with the storms that we've had recently in our region. Neil's not going to be able to actually meet us this Tuesday. Okay, so I do see that we're live, so let's get on with the show. I just want to bring up the comments that I can share with you. Just looking for a feature here on this software for showing the comments, and I don't see it, but I know that it's there. Okay, there we go. Alright, cool. So I have the comments feature. So yeah, today I would like to just cover the new feature that ManyChat launched about last week, which is the payload feature in the ref URL. So if you're not quite sure what that is, I'll just give you a brief explanation, and then we'll probably just go through a couple of scenarios or use cases that we might be able to use a payload, and then I'm going to finally show you what I did using software from another chatbot developer, and I'll share that with you. So the payload is basically a piece of data that you can attach to the end of the reference URL. So you could either put that data in there manually, just by adding it on to the end of your regular reference URL, or you can generate it dynamically through using JavaScript on a website or something, which is what I'm going to be demonstrating to you today. So what are the use cases? Well, the first one that came up was something along the line of an affiliate ID. Or the way I explain this one to you is, let's say I build a reference link and I hand it out to people asking them to share it, and let's say I have some kind of an agreement that I monitor how many people are coming into a chatbot using this link that I have handed out to a particular person. Now what happens, so I can track that if I go into my ManyChat statistics and I look at my growth tools. I can certainly see how many users have come in on that particular growth tool. So I can attribute that number of users to a particular user, and it's not a problem. And again, if I had another person that was interested in providing traffic to me and I gave them a reference URL, I would create a separate reference URL so that I could track the numbers that are coming in from each individual reference URL. So now with the payload, I can create one growth tool, one message, and provide as many people as I like with the same reference URL, and the only thing that I need to change on the end of it is the payload. So when you set up the reference URL, you select the field that you would like that attribute to be stored in, the custom field. So if I'm using this scenario as an affiliate type link, I could create a custom field called affiliate, and then each person that I give the reference URL, I just change the very last end of the link, and I just add their name or their ID number, and then everybody that clicks on that link in their particular user fields, it will populate what was attached to the end of that link. So hopefully this will become clearer to you as we go through ManyChat in a few minutes and have a look at it. Another use case was, I mean, it's not tested, I was just trying to think of use cases. You could use it maybe as a competition. You could have a website with a whole bunch of images, 4 or 5 images, and you can say, pick the lucky one. Each one of those images would be a reference URL. Let's say there's 5 images, 4 of them would have the same reference URL without any payload attached to it, and it'll take them to a message which would be, try again, or sorry, you're not a winner. And then the other reference URL could have a payload on it, and I don't even know if you actually need a payload for that, but just trying to think about ways to be able to use this reference URL. If you've got any ideas, surely just pop them in the comments below. It'd be good to explore what use cases are out there for the reference URL. The one that we're going to talk about today is attaching some user data to the reference URL using automation, using JavaScript in a website. So for instance, if you create a page, an opt-in form, and you're offering a free PDF or something along those lines, you can ask for an email address, and then when people click on the reference URL, they will then be attaching their email address, and you don't need to then ask for it. So it's a really handy way. It's, again, I know that a lot of people have been asking for this feature, and I guess if you're asking for people's emails in an opt-in form, it's really convenient to be able to store that information in ManyChat without having to ask for it again. So I'm going to take you now and in a minute and share with you on ManyChat what I've set up with regard to demonstrating this. I'll just bring it up quickly, and then I'll share my screen with you guys. Really miss Neil. I hope I know that Neil's gone out to get some materials. He's had a little bit of damage with his with the storm that's passed through the Philippines. Okay, so just about to share my screen. Should be coming up any minute. Hey Ledric, thanks for tuning in today. Okay, why is the screen not sharing? Okay, I think we have the screen up. Alright, so this form is just a straightforward opt-in form. Before we get started here, I'm going to just show you where we got this from. So if I go to the ManyChat group, one of the members of the group has shared all of this information. So everything that I show you today, you'll be able to get hold of it. That's not what I wanted. Groups, ManyChat community. If you're not part of the ManyChat community, I recommend that you do join up. Just got to find this post. Hopefully it will be close to the top here. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll put it in the reference after the live. I'll put it in the comments, but I'll just show you who has dropped it into the group. I'm just bringing Pat up. So there's a lot of information on the reference URL. I should have bookmarked this, that's for sure. Why is it eluding me? Here we go. I have found it. I just feel it's very important to be able to find this this link, and because L. Friedel is the person that has created this this content. So if you find this post, then you'll be able to get all the information. I'll just drop the link in there for you now, so you have it. Okay, so in theory that link should be shared. Yep, I think it is. Cool. So so what Pat has provided us is a sign up form. So I'll just go in here and just have a look at the reference URL. It's just on my page, and it's just a opt-in form.html time. So if I put my name in here, Hilton, and my email, so I'm just going to make up an email so that you can see it in ManyChat when I go there to show you the custom field. So I'm just going to call it test email and at mymail.com. gmail.com, for example, and a phone number 123-32145. So then that email hasn't, that reference URL hasn't changed yet. But when I go now and send my free stuff, this is calling up some JavaScript, and that JavaScript is attaching the data from those fields in that form. And so now I've got my thank you page, and the thank you page has attached onto the end of that URL this data, which is email, test email, and my phone. Okay, so now when I click this send to messenger button, which is literally basically a reference URL with the payload attached, and the payload field is a well, I'm not going to go into here, but if you open up all the documents in there, the payload field is a dynamic ref. Actually, I can show you in my ManyChat. So let's open up ManyChat. Because then at least you can see the. So I just go to my audience, select myself. So in the custom fields, so at the moment, this one here, dynamic ref, is this data here, the builder at email.sim. So it's just, yeah, random stuff. And then I've put in the email. So what I can do is I'm just going to clear that. That makes it easier for you guys to follow. In the email field, I'm going to clear it. And the phone number field, I'm going to clear it. Okay, so now you can see that those fields are cleared. So now when I come into my page, I'm going to send this to Messenger. So that is clicking the reference URL with the dynamic reference field data attached to it. I'll show you how to set this up in a minute. Okay, so then I've got a message. In this case, I've just put there, welcome Hilton, thank you for subscribing, we will deliver your free PDF soon. So now what's happening is this flow is sending the data to a PHP script that Pat has made on his server, and it's taking both the user's email and their phone number and passing it, and it'll be sent back to us as two separate fields. So if I'll just show you that in the audience, you should, before it comes through, we should have the dynamic reference has picked up the email at my email and the phone number 123-32145, and the email address has been populated with the first part of this custom field, and the phone number has been populated. So now the message will come back and it will say, welcome Hilton, thank you for subscribing, we will deliver your free PDF soon. So of course you can attach this to a Zap that can take that email address and deliver the product PDF or something via email, which I haven't got around to demonstrating that, but that would be another lesson with regard to how to set up the Zap using either MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or something like that. So this here I'm proving to you, just to be sure that I have this right. Is this correct? The email is testemail@mymail, and then I'll just say yes, and then we could then send a PDF or send them via email. So let me just go back here, and I'm just going to See, I've got a heart there from Ladrick. I'm just going to put in Ladrick, and let's put in Ladrick at my mail, and let's just do 986543221. Send me my free stuff and send it to Messenger. Let's close that old Messenger. And just wait for that to pop up. Cool. So let's go to the audience. Let me just close this out and bring it back up. So in theory, this dynamic reference link has changed, and it's got the new email address and the new phone number and the email address and the phone number fields. So basically what I'm demonstrating there, you can only have one custom field assigned to the growth tool. So let's go in there now and have a look at these growth tools. Okay, so here's the growth tool that I've created, Dynamic Ref Demo. So this is just my opt-in message that I created, but what's important here is the setup. So this is just my standard dynamic, my reference that with that number, with that's just to make it easy for me to know what this link is if I see this link somewhere. But here we put in the save payload to custom field, custom user field. So we set up a custom user field called Dynamic Ref, and so that's where you put in the when you're setting up your creating your reference URL, you just tell it over here which custom field you want it to be sent to. And now I'll just so that's all your link looks like. And so when you copy this to clipboard, I'll just show you, it just looks like that. But when if you're sharing this with somebody, if I go -- and I put in here let's say testing, and so that will then populate that dynamic reference field. Let me just test it out and see. So, but of course what I've demonstrated here is using a website. You can do this dynamically, so you don't have to change it. But I think people might get confused, is like, how do I get this on the end of my reference? You actually put it in manually, or you use another piece of software to populate that for you. So I was going to put in here testing. Let's just go back and have a look at let's go to audience, open up another tab, and go to myself over here, and I'm curious. I want to see if this has changed to testing. There it is, testing. So that's how you create these growth tools. Or you have to, whatever you want to go into that field, you have to then attach that to the end of this reference link over here. Okay, so let me just show you so what Pat provides. Where is he? Did I lose that ManyChat group thing? He provides this HTML for your form. He provides this thank you page where you put in your reference URL into that button. and also he provides the JavaScript that will create this URL up here that attaches that information that gets sent with the reference URL, and he also provides the parsing of the PHP on a server that will separate the phone and email. So let me just go to my flows, and here's my dynamic reference demo flow. So basically what I've done is I come in here, welcome first name, thanks for subscribing, we'll deliver your free PDF soon. And then it's get dynamic content. So if I just edit this, this is what you can get off the ManyChat group there from Pat. It's just this link here. So if you put that link into your request type of post, and then in the body you select, when you go add subscriber data, you just select full subscriber data. So I've got it twice there now. If I just take that out, and you can actually test that response. And if you get a 200 OK, your response is valid, and then you can save it. And so what I've done is when people come in with that reference URL, they get this thank you message. That data is immediately sent over for parsing. I'll wait a minute to be sure that that process has completed, and then I come back and I verify. I show people that email address is theirs, just proof of concept here, and it was at least for you guys for this demo. So that's my message there, just to be sure I have this right. Is this correct? So if I carry on, I know that I'm just going to be repeating myself. So I'm not going to keep on going. I think I have hopefully got the message over about a reference URL and the payload feature. If you're not quite sure, if you missed a step, or you don't know how to follow, or you can't find the post, anything, just drop a comment in the group and I'll have a look at it, or just comment on this particular post. And if I don't respond like in a day or so, then I may not have seen that or may have forgotten. Then just message me. That's totally okay, and I'll jump onto it. I'm not going to be sharing anything from Tuesday's conversation. You can get all of this, as I said, from the ManyChat group. I think that's it there. I didn't do away with it. It's there. So Pat also does a video to explain how this all works. So that's a really powerful feature for capturing user data. And guys, we're a community, and if anybody comes up with some really amazing idea of how to utilize this feature, I'd love to hear about it. Okay, so really missing my partner here, Neil, and we would by this time will have known what we were going to be covering next Tuesday, but we will be on next Tuesday, and just stay informed through the group. We'll let you know as soon as we come up with what we're going to share. Cool. I want to thank you for joining in here, and I will catch you later. Bye.